Hey, this is Ruth Hartunian Ellenba, otherwise known as Ravings and Cravings, coming to you from the world of Zoom. But have no fear, there will be things to see on the YouTube interview later on, and I will explain more about that later. But first of all, thanks to Tony's Pizza and to Elm Package Store for sponsoring this program. Thanks to Matt Rupar, who is the tech king, who is making this all possible. Really appreciate all of his hard work and the time that he puts into making everyone who shows up on this program look good. And that would also include Heather Thibeault, who is here with me today, even from the town of Lisbon, Connecticut, right?
Yes.
And
Hello.
just tell people about your, let's start with your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Explain your channel and what you enjoy doing there.
Okay. So my YouTube channel is Adventures in Gardening. My the thing that I say all the time is life is an adventure, and I have been gardening since I was exposed to gardening as a child, but I've been gardening myself probably since I was about 20 years old. So that's a little bit of time that's gone by.
Couple
A
years,
couple
or
years, couple
maybe a
years.
minute. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I worked in the horticulture industry for years and when I was younger, and then I went back after had a family and raised a family, and then I just decided I wanted just to stay home and do my own thing.
Mhm.
So. I started with I still wanted to connect with people. I wanted to tell people about gardening, and YouTube seemed to be a really natural fit for that,
Yeah.
to be able to, get out there and get people excited about gardening on a
Mhm.
on a bigger level than just me in my backyard. I already
Yeah.
talked to myself when I was in the backyard, so now I just talk to a camera.
Uh-huh.
So it's my in the YouTube channel is hopefully inspiring people um, to really garden more than I think New Englanders, we tend to have a set uniform of what we do for gardening, and
Mhm.
gardening it can be an amazing adventure, and you can create beautiful outdoor rooms and space that you want to be in all the time. I
Mhm.
also do garden tours. I
Mhm.
try to do them monthly. I don't always succeed, but I try to like show everybody how things are progressing, because
Mhm.
where we are right now, we've got snow, lots and lots of
Yeah,
snow.
and those of us who like to garden are just dying to play in the
Yeah,
dirt, right?
right. But then, it's hard to imagine how quickly things go for us
Mhm.
here in New England. I mean, things by the end of that, right now, there's like nothing and everything is like, white, but then it will
Right.
be mud, and then it will be, just a few daffodils here. And then before you know it, everything is up and
Mhm.
big and beautiful and lush. It
Mhm.
looks tropical, and before the frost
Yeah.
comes in the fall.
I remember last year, it was so warm so often, and I kept telling my snowdrops to go back where they
Right.
came from because I was like, this is too early.
I
This is
know.
too early. Don't come
Yep.
out now. Please go
Yep.
back where you came from.
Plants know though. There have been a few times
Uh,
where I've had to eat those words. But plants know. They seem to know when to come up.
so Heather, has it always been gardening? Like, has that passion always been like lingering in the back of your mind? I mean, what were you doing, say, before you were doing cheeky tomatoes and adventures in gardening? Was there
Hmm.
other things that you were interested in before you launched these passions that you have?
Well, I mean, I've done a lot of different things, but I have always gardened as like it were a sport,
Uh-huh.
trying to really push the seasons, push my plants,
Uh-huh.
trying to do things that people say you can't do.
Ah, you
Um,
like to, if they throw down the gauntlet, you're like,
Right.
I could
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. But I've done a lot of things in my life. I've done I was a hairdresser, I did marketing, I did retail, I did quite a few different things, but I've always gardened. My both parents, both sets of grandparents. I remember sitting on the couch with my grandfather sometime in the 70s, watching Victory Garden on PBS.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Roger
definitely.
Swain.
Well, you brought some things for people to look at. So
I did.
when you show us those things,
Mhm.
see if you can describe what they look like visually, because
Oh yeah,
some of our audience are just listening with the radio and
sure.
they'll have no clue. So I
Yeah.
just feel like I want to cut you loose today because you have a lot to offer and I have just such a little time. So the more you talk, the better.
Okay. Okay. All right, so you want me to talk about my business now?
Yeah, talk about your
Okay.
business and talk about all the things that you brought
Okay.
with you.
Okay. All right. So Cheeky Tomatoes is the name of my local
Very
business.
cute.
And I am open during the month of May only. And I have a roadside stand. And before May, what people do is they order online and then I put their plants aside that they've ordered. Right now, people are ordering plants online
Okay,
on
so
this
so
snowy.
where do people go to see like what you have to offer online? Where?
Yeah, cheekytomatoes.com.
Okay.
Yep, I basically do everything through my Facebook page, which is
Hmm.
Cheeky Tomatoes. So train of thought. So right now, people are ordering online. I tag their plants. I put them aside. I finish growing them for them. I make sure that they get the plants that they want to grow. We have over, I can't say for sure because I didn't count, but I think there's over 30 different tomato heirloom. Everything is organically grown. All my plants are
Wow.
either heirloom or open pollinated that I grow for sale.
That's, to me
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
labor
And
of
I say,
love.
yeah, I save my own seeds too, as
Wow.
well. So I mean, I've been doing that for, over a decade with a lot of them.
That's amazing.
So during the month of May, I have like what looks like a little pop-up at the end of my driveway. I put up signs, that say Cheeky Tomatoes. And that first year, I thought, well, I don't know what I thought, if it was going to work out or not, because people buying plants online and then it wasn't a thing really
Yeah.
to go and pick them up.
Hmm.
But I was really pleasantly surprised by the local community here. I got to meet tons of people, coming to me, and everyone that I've met has been really wonderful and received it very well, especially in the town here in Lisbon.
Hmm.
And I look forward to seeing people now. This is our eighth spring
Oh,
out
8 years
here.
you've been doing this for that long.
Yep, yep, doing this. Yeah, and I try to keep my prices in check. I try to keep my prices down. I think everything is going pretty well there.
Hmm.
So I sell a very large variety of tomatoes. I do peppers, both hot and sweet. Again, heirloom and open pollinated. So what's that mean? Open pollinated means
Yeah,
that
you should tell us what that means. Yeah.
you can save your own seeds from it, is what it means. Because I've had people
Oh.
tell me, "Oh, I almost didn't have to buy tomato plants from you because the seeds fell on the ground." And the only downside with that is it takes so much longer by the time they germinate in the soil. So,
Hmm.
yeah. But no, people can save their own seeds from open pollinated plants.
Uh-huh.
And let's see, lots of herbs. I do 3 or 4 different varieties of basil. I love basil.
Hmm.
I have I have rosemary. I have rosemary that actually
Yay.
these are last year's rosemaries
Looks
that
beautiful. So she's showing
yeah.
us what it looks like here.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know. I'm showing the plant. So the
Yeah.
plant is just waking out of a winter sleep. And with rosemary, when the rosemaries are kind of coming out of their like little sleep, they're a little skinny. The needles are a little bit skinny. You can see that right
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
And then they start to plump up when they grow.
Hmm.
Um, so I do the herbs and I do some flowers. I do a lot of dahlias. So people can purchase dahlias from me and then at the end of the season, when I'm
Hmm.
done in May, so I am done come June 1st, I am done selling
You are.
plants and I switch over to cut flowers.
And
So
there we
yeah,
go. The
yeah,
segue.
yeah.
It's, I just want to make a comment. You get to share what you have with your community. You get to
Mhm.
feed your community. And also in that, it seems that the community also feeds you as a person who likes to connect with people, like
Yes,
the relationship. So it's kind of like, everybody gets something.
right. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I talk with people sometimes, quite a while. In
Uh-huh.
the end of my driveway, I'm talking the whole month of May. We're either talking about plants and I'm making suggestions for them.
Yeah.
Or, we're talking about their kids and their grandkids
Yeah.
and
Yep.
just touching base. And this,
Mhm.
by the way, when people come out here during the
Mhm.
month of May, and people always say, "What time are you open?" I am open for 1 month. And so about 9 o'clock is when I like to start because I have regular chores. And then
Uh-huh.
um, when we can't see anymore in the evening, that's when we're closed.
That's when you're closed. All right. That's a good
Yeah.
rule of thumb. So you have a little
Yeah.
catalog that has
Yes.
description
Yeah.
of all your
So
things.
right. And so this, and I hate to say this, but I'm not the kind of place that people, unless you know some of these are unique tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you know some of them, you're not going to find necessarily a big boy here, but I'm going to be able to make a really good suggestion on something that is tastier and is going to grow pretty much the same as something. Yeah.
That's awesome because I mean I complain about vegetables. You can't they don't taste like anything. If I didn't
Right.
know it was orange and long, and I would think, well, I know it's a carrot because I have the visual, but sometimes it tastes, I mean,
Right.
tomatoes, that's another story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I know. And in my opinion, tomatoes out of season, there's no point in even buying them. So we eat tomatoes here at our house. We eat them from about the first week of June with cherry tomatoes all the way through. I think we have them at Thanksgiving still. We have them coming
You
out of the
do?
greenhouse down there. Yeah, because I
Wow.
specialize in container plants for people.
Oh, so explain what that's like.
Yes. And so even when I worked in horticulture, I realized that not as many people as I thought were planting directly into the ground. People want to plant in pots
Hmm.
or large containers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is on my YouTube channel. I've had a few people kind of not like this statement, but indeterminate tomato plants that grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until the frost hits them are hard to grow in a container because there comes this point where how are you going to stake it?
Right.
When it's over your
It's too
head,
tall. Yeah.
it's frustrating. The wind is going to blow, it's going to fall over,
Yeah.
Nothing more frustrating than that. So, but there are specific determinate, that means to a determined height, and then semi-determinate, which means a little bit higher
Mm-hmm.
than a determinate. And they do great in a regular tomato cage. An
Uh-huh.
indeterminate, grows and grows, has trouble in a regular tomato cage
Uh,
because they don't make them big enough.
right. Sure.
So I'm looking at my list right here, and let's see. I've got at least six that I see off the top of my head that you can grow in containers. And I think I've got nine though. But again, if they go to my website, cheekytomatoes.com, you'll see that there is a container section under tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got peppers. The peppers generally are going to do really good in a pot anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They like that, the heat.
They like that close
Yeah, they
thing.
do. You can definitely grow those.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then I grow things like zucchini rampicante, and I have a video on my YouTube channel. And zucchini rampicante is a zucchini that you can eat when they are short and tender, or you can let them mature into like 3.5 foot, like they look like butternut squash. And you
Wow.
can overwinter them almost like a winter squash. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have as thick of a skin, but I
Wow.
do grow those as plants because I have found that they outrun, get this, the Mexican bean beetle and the squash bugs. Now, does
Oh,
that mean that there's none there? No, they're still
wow.
there. But what happens is it grows so fast and
Mm-hmm.
covers such a large area that
Mm-hmm.
they keep rooting in.
Mm-hmm.
They keep making like these little substations for the plant. So if
Mm-hmm.
something happens close to the root and the vine borer gets in there, the plant's going to keep growing because it's
Yeah.
rooted in.
Oh, we had that last year. They were boring through the vines. I mean, we didn't
Yeah,
have a good year for squash or zucchini. And the year
yeah.
before that, I mean, I had these great turban squashes and patty
Mm.
pans, and I was so happy. And last year was a big disappointment.
Yeah, no, it is. And unfortunately what happens with those critters is
Hmm.
that they wait. until the plant is just about ready to really produce for you.
Bunch of scoundrels, right?
I know.
So when you have a tomato that you want to eat, what do you look forward to personally? Like, what are your favorite ones to eat?
Oh, that's such a great question because that became a topic of conversation in the comment section on a video
Hmm.
back a while, and
Hmm.
that is taste. And taste is
Yeah,
so like
personal.
personal,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So what I look for is I like the sweet tomatoes.
Hmm.
I grow one called Prairie Fire that is a semi-determinate, so you can grow
Hmm.
it in a pot or in
Hmm.
the ground, and I do both.
Hmm.
It is super sweet. It's a snacking tomato.
Sounds
It,
awesome.
yeah, it's super sweet. And then we grow a lot, my husband, and one year, this was a little experiment with my daughter. We decided we were going to weigh every bit of produce that came out of our garden.
Mm.
And so we have a tomato called Rosella, and it's a cherry tomato, and it is super sweet. It's
Hmm.
smooth. It's almost like a black cherry
Hmm.
color, and there is one called black
Oh
cherry, but
wow.
it's larger.
Hmm.
So we grow a lot of those, and so my husband would get out of his car in the driveway and head to eat tomatoes out of the garden, and my daughter would yell, "Mom, Dad's in the garden again!" So,
Gotta
so
weigh
I had
those
to weigh
things.
him.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta weigh those things first, right?
Yeah.
I if I can find a good tomato, and
Yeah,
the heirlooms are much better than anything else
yeah,
that I've seen or had in the store. If I can find a good tomato, have a good crusty, grainy piece of bread that's been in the
yes,
toaster with
yes,
some mayonnaise, some real mayonnaise, uh,
yes.
slap a tomato in there, and maybe basil, maybe not.
Yep. If you can
Uh,
find the basil, great.
I'd be
Otherwise,
happy, and maybe some Swiss Appenzeller cheese if I really felt like I wanted to. But and if I really felt terrible, I'd throw bologna on there. It sounds terrible. That just messes everything up, probably, right? Um, but yeah, I could just dream about that in the middle of winter, some good
yeah,
tomatoes. But so
yeah.
you're only in the greenhouse in the month of May. Talk about what happens from June forward besides dahlias, because you have other
Mm.
things besides that, right?
Yeah. So by the way, you say I'm only in the greenhouse. I am only available at the end of the driveway
Driveway,
for
sorry.
the customers.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you. Thank you.
My greenhouse is, and I sent you some pictures of the property,
Yeah.
like some videos. It's a very unique piece of property that we have terraced. So, anyway, I go up and down from there a lot, during the
Hmm.
season. But so
Hmm.
when June comes around is when the real work starts for me. Before
Mm.
that, it's all play. I talk to people. I try to encourage people to get past the hard part of the season because it's coming. Everybody gets spring fever. We spend a lot of money on things. We get out there,
Yeah.
we plant, we water, we fertilize, and then a heat wave comes. And then a lot of people, and then the next heat wave comes, and people get tired of that. And so
Yeah.
you just got to kind of push through that
Yep.
so that you can get your plants along.
Hmm.
But so the real work for me comes where I plant all of my tomatoes, all of my flowers. I do a lot of zinnias.
Hmm.
I love the zinnias. I raise monarch butterflies.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep, so that is my summer thing. So on many a morning, I will be outside flipping over all the leaves of the milkweed, trying to find the caterpillars, which I will bring indoors and continue to raise. Now,
Oh.
the reason that I do that is because of my organic garden. When I got here, I didn't have a lot of diversity in critters. I
Hmm.
say critters, there were plenty of birds, but the bugs that eat the bugs, the good
Oh,
bugs that eat the bad
yeah.
bugs.
Yep.
Yeah, there really weren't a lot here, but I tell people if you want to do less work in your garden, plant flowers
Mm. Hmm.
because you're going to draw in all kinds of bugs. So over the years, it took quite a few years to get all
Yeah.
of the things that wanted to eat all the other things.
Yeah. Yep. Hmm.
The assassin bugs, the ladybugs, the praying mantis.
Hmm.
And when they finally came, I learned really quick that the monarch caterpillar these bugs don't know the difference between a cabbage mothworm and a monarch caterpillar.
Ah,
And so
interesting.
I'm like, what is going on? I have a whole video on the life cycle of the monarch butterfly
Uh-huh.
in my yard.
Uh-huh.
So I release in a good year 70, 80 monarch butterflies.
Wow.
Yeah, just let them finish. I let them go. And so the garden is alive. I've got snakes. Snakes scare me, but I still have them. I know
They're
they're here
good.
for a
Yeah, they're good to
reason.
have. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I do a lot of gardening. I try to keep everything maintained. We live on water here, and there's a lot of critters that come out of the water.
Yeah.
A
Yep.
lot of turtles, a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
to see.
Well, that must be, it sounds like a really delightful, place to just be living amongst all this ecosystem all around you.
Yeah, yeah, God is good for sure, and it has every day is an adventure. That's all I can tell you. I do cut flowers on Fridays. I do flowers on Fridays. People will see them on Facebook and Instagram. I
Mm-hmm.
do that through Cheeky Tomatoes as well.
Okay.
Dahlias, zinnias, a lot of celosia, a lot of filler things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have people that come every week and get flowers,
Nice.
which is great. So I still see people through the summer and fall.
Mm-hmm.
And then the harvest time comes. We do a lot of canning. Uh, I've kind of, as the years have gone by, I realized I don't need to do as much canning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we do cucumbers and we do tomatoes and we eat a lot. I don't need to go to the grocery store often during the summer and fall.
That's wonderful.
Yep,
That is
except for,
wonderful.
the necessities. And so there's always something to eat from the garden. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we get tired. Maybe I don't get tired. Maybe my husband gets tired of, squash and zucchini. And then I transition into fall flowers, which were new for me last year. I do heirloom chrysanthemums,
Heirloom.
and I'm going to
Okay.
offer them for sale for my customers this spring at the stand.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is an example of one that has overwintered here.
Mm-hmm.
And all of those little tips, I will go ahead and clip and root, and then this one will bush out, and then I will be able to share the plants, sell the plants to
Mm-hmm.
people who want to give them a try. They are not hardy to our zone, but they are massive, big blooms that actually resemble dahlias.
Oh, wow.
People
That's
like those
amazing.
dahlias. Yeah,
That sounds very visually interesting. All right,
yeah.
well, so Heather, tell us again, tell us where people can find your YouTube videos, how people can order product from you,
Hmm.
your location. You probably have an address that you might want to throw out there, and if you want to throw out a phone number, any way that people can find Cheeky Tomatoes and Adventures in Gardening.
Hmm. Okay, so Adventures in Gardening is on YouTube, and that is about learning about, gardening and seeing garden tours
Mm-hmm.
here. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cheeky Tomatoes is a local business affecting my local population,
Mm-hmm.
and so people who live uh, within driving distance of Lisbon, Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
they can go online at cheekytomatoes.com
Mm-hmm.
and look at what I have for sale, make a
Okay.
purchase.
Uh-huh.
I get the purchase and I keep them all in order and I take their plants out of inventory and grow them for them. I'm on Facebook and Instagram with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so again, I have to say, so I'm in Lisbon. Once you've placed an order, you get the address. The address is on my Facebook
Okay.
page as
All right.
well.
Great.
So
Great.
yeah, and I'm not, I'm kind of in the middle of a great neighborhood here,
Uh-huh.
and it's easy to find.
All right, great.
Yeah,
Well, thank you, Heather Thibeault, for being with me today on Ravings and
yeah,
Cravings. Boy, I'm dreaming of some good tomatoes, is what I'm
good.
thinking of. Uh, and well, I wish you the best, and I hope a lot of people take advantage of what you have because what you have is very unique service, especially for people who like to garden. It sounds like you have some tested, tried and true things, And you certainly have a wealth of knowledge. Like I could probably sit here and talk to you for 2 hours and learn an awful lot. But we'll have to depend on YouTube to help us learn some things. So
Excellent.
anyway, thanks so much for being with me. And hey, this is Ruth Hartunian Ellenbaugh, otherwise known as Ravings and Cravings. I'm signing off here on Good Company, WILI.